Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of New Earth TV Live. So, we have a very exciting episode planned today. I'm going to be doing insight on a specific topic today, which is called "You Are the Only One." Okay, and then we're going to go into some Q&A. Okay, with myself and with Adronis, very shortly. So, of course, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and begin with some announcements. So, here's the first announcement. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
Okay, and the other announcement is the last Spirit Ambassador Classroom is going to be happening this Sunday. It is a free classroom. Okay, it's starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, and you'll find the link in the video description. You can go ahead and you can sign up for that classroom. It's the last classroom. We're looking at a big review of all the insight and teachings that have been shared through the Spirit Ambassador Classroom modules. So again, if you are interested, feel free to sign up. Again, the link is in the video description. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started today with our episode. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's great to see everybody just all over the world coming here and tuning in to this episode today. So the episode I have today is called "You Are the Only One." Now, what does that mean? What am I talking about? Well, this has been something that I've been talking about for several years. Adronis has been talking about it for several years as well, too, is that you are the only one here within this universe. That there is no other. There is no other observer. There is no other soul, you could say, that is within your reality. As you are the only one here, everything you see, smell, taste, touch, and hear, everything that you perceive, are again all just extensions relating to yourself. So when we look at this, when we see the power of ourselves, when we look at the sovereignty that we hold, the people that we attract in life, the situations that we attract in life, the people, place, events, and things, this is all based upon our own decision making. This is all based upon our own state of choice. So working together with understanding that you are the only one here is the key to the nature of your complete and total empowerment. Right? People have always asked Adronis and saying, well, I'm not too sure about this other person, or I'm not too sure about what this person wants to do. Adronis will commonly say, there is no other person. There is no other person that is telling you what to do, to try and change you, because you are not capable of being changed by somebody else, because there is nobody else. Whenever you want to see change happening within your reality, the change needs to happen through you. You're the one that brings about change, right? A lot of us look in the outside world and feel that I need to change that person, or I need to change this, I need to change my environment in that way. Well, the change can happen, but the change starts with you. You're that central shining star. You're that bright luminescence that is making everything happen, right? So the whole key here is really being able to understand the nature of the self, the true self. And the nature of the true self is I am, right? It's not about all of these tendencies of wanting to change things, of wanting to blame people, of wanting to get angry at others because things don't feel like they're going your way, right? We want to look outside of ourselves. We want to look externally. If we feel like something is a blunder and saying, no, it's my dad's fault, it's my sister's fault, it's my mom's fault, it's my best friend's fault, it's my partner's fault, etc. We play the blame game, and that just becomes, in all respect, stupidity. Because we have to understand that we are the ones that are making the decisions. We are the ones that are making those choices. We are the ones that are taking those actions, right? A lot of us will talk about the nature of karma, right? And looking into, well, I have all this heavy karma upon myself, and I guess I'm doomed to deal with this karma for the rest of my life or for lifetimes to come, etc. But the very important thing to remember is that karma itself is transient, because all karma is your actions, right? If you look at the Sanskrit word for karma, it means action, right? So all we are doing is we are rectifying, remedying all of these old choices that we have made that we know do not fit ourselves, because we are the creator, we are the only ones here, and being able to shift that perspective and move it into a brighter heightening to ourselves. And this is very similar to what I have offered through the BCR technique, the TC technique, the EQ method, right? The black ball, white ball technique as well. You guys can find that on my YouTube channel. Okay, black ball, white ball technique, the BCR and TC techniques, and of course the EQ method is available on my website. I do private sessions for that. So the key here is that we're moving ourselves more into a state of heightening, right? If we feel that we are just completely absorbed and completely saturated with all of the conflicts and all of the heavy emotional onslaughts that we are encountering here in our life, and we feel that there's no way out of that, well, then that's what we're going to create. We're going to continue to have more of that suffering. We're going to continue to have a great deal of that conflict and diversity of anger, sadness, fear, resentment, right? Rejection, abandonment, abuse. All of that is going to be a diverse amount of conflict. So what we do is we heighten ourselves. We move ourselves into a greater state of heightening awareness, into a greater state of love energy. This is why I've always emphasized so often that it's very, very important that you guys work with the BCR technique, right? Because what this is doing is this is taking you up a higher platform. You're looking at that higher platform. You're moving into that higher platform. You're imbuing love energy directly into yourself, and you're filling yourself with all this joy, all this compassion, all this strength, because love is not just the idea of rainbows and fluffiness, okay? When you're moving into a state of love, you are moving into a great resilience. You're moving into strength, right? Love is a strength. It's not the fluffy, airy-fairy, rainbows and whiskers on kittens that many of us talk about and say, oh, I'm airy-fairy and I'm lovey-dovey and blah, blah, blah. That's not the type of love that's being shared here. It's not the idea that it's basically trying to shield you or protect you or cushion you from a lot of the conflicts and harshnesses that is being experienced in your life. What you're doing is you are rectifying those old conflicts by moving into a heightening state of awareness, by moving into a lightheartedness, by moving into a grander scope, by seeing a greater perspective. That's what the BCR technique does for you. What the EQ method, again, is very similar to that. What it does is very similar. It's taking all of your dense energy, everything that represents the intensification of all your denseness, of all your harshness, of all your conflict. We're putting it into one place. And then as we measure it, we look at the intensity. How intense is that? Oh, it's pretty high on the scale. Let's say it's about a 9 or a 10 on the scale. Great. Now we work to get you into the theta state. Once you're in a theta state, we now go into love energy. We start doing positive reinforcement. So positive reinforcement is the nature of the heightening here. You go into your memories, you go into your mind, you move into a higher awareness, you move into a deeper perspective. You see the creator that you are, all the loving manifestations that you can naturally produce, that you can create, that you have that capability. We harness that, and we make that bigger and bigger and wider and wider. So as we make that bigger and bigger and wider, now all of this love energy is putting you on this high platform. It's like you're walking on clouds. And as you're walking on clouds now, you now have the strength to look at all of this dense energy, all of this confusion, all of this chaos, all of this conflict. And just like that, it can be cleared away. It can be cleared away. It can be cleared away. How do I know this happens? Not only have I done it myself, I've seen other people do it as well too. Pretty much every EQ method that I've done, I've seen great success with people, right? The only time where it may not have gone too well is a person is not willing to go into that love energy. They're not willing to go into that positive reinforcement. There's nothing you can do at that point, right? That person needs to be able to go into that love energy, right? If they don't, they feel again that they're just being very overwhelmed by their conflicts. And I said, well, understand that yes, the conflicts are there, but what we're doing here is we're working with interchange, because you are the only one here. As you're the only one here, it is through your change, through your ability to now shift into a higher love state, to move into a higher plateau, to reach that state of heightening, that will give you all of this accumulated love energy, this accumulated strength, to now look at all these things and say, I'm just so high right now. I feel so great. I'm able to clear all of this away. I'm clear to completely neutralize all of these conflicts that have been happening in my life, from my relationship with my partner, my old situation with my parents, a traveling blunder that I had, whatever it may be. If it's sexual assault, if it's rape, I've dealt with people like that as well too, right? We've worked on, again, aligning ourselves, heightening ourselves, moving ourselves up into a higher plateau where there is love and forgiveness, and that really just comes toward your conflicts, that comes towards your own emotions. Like I've said, you don't have to forgive anybody else because there's nobody else here. There's only you. So Brad, what do you mean by nobody else here? Because I see my next door neighbor, I see my parents, I see my best friends. They're here with me. Well, again, they are your versions. They are versions of those people, right? But from a soul to soul level, you are the only observer here within your reality. Certainly, you could imagine yourself going into another body and seeing yourself operating that body, incarnationally speaking. And you could have 1,000 bodies, 1,000,000 bodies, 10 billion bodies, all available for you to do that. But whose perspective is going through each and every single one of those bodies? Yours, right? You can never have the perspective of another. That you can never have that observing perspective of another person coming into your universe. It's not possible, right? This is why the idea really is that you truly are the self. There is only one here within your reality. So everybody that's watching this right now, you're it. You're the only one here. The reason why this is so important for you to grasp is because it's teaching you the nature of empowerment. If I'm the only one here, then basically I'm the king and the queen. I'm the sovereign. I'm the creator. Yes, you got it. And it's to align yourself into the creator. It's to align yourself to God. It's to be at one-ment with that. And now that you realize that you are the creator, and that you can transform everything, that you can change everything, that you can shift everything, this is giving you the idea that all these things that you've done in the past that you feel were reckless or troublesome or harsh or heavily conflicting, you have the ability to remedy every single one of them. You have the ability to, again, bring in that accumulated love energy, its support, its encouragement, its strength, right? And you're going on that heightening level. You're moving into a higher plateau. You're walking on clouds right now. You're clearing away all of this debris underneath you, and you're living above it. That's what you're doing, right? It's not that this debris is never going to come back into your life. It's like moving up to the top floor, right? On the top floor, this debris can't reach you, right? It's not there anymore. And you've been able to completely relinquish it. You've completely decontaminated, detoxified yourself from the heaviness relating to the dense energy, conflicting energy that you have been going through. So again, this is what you learn when you work with the BCR technique or the black ball, white ball. Okay, so this is why I give a lot of these free, not really sessions, but more so modules or presentations or practices available away for free, because it's very important that we have that. It's very important that we work together with the practices, with the methods pertaining to the BCR technique, TC technique, black ball, white ball, etc. This is for everybody to have. This is why I do the Spirit Ambassador classrooms for free as well too. It's knowledge that everybody should have, right? But not everybody comes to that, and that's fine. But nonetheless, it's there for you. So again, I always recommend that if you have not tried out the BCR technique yet, give it a try. Try it every single morning, as soon as you wake up, right? Maybe you have a morning routine to wake yourself up a little bit more, to be a little bit more active and alert, and go ahead and do that. But you're just sitting in your bed or laying down in your bed, and you're doing the BCR technique. You're doing breath work, calmness, reinforcement. And as you start to illuminate yourself with all of that love energy, Over time, you'll notice that that debris just starts to vanish. It starts to fade away because you're moving into higher space. You're moving into higher states. Well, what comes next after that? Well, Ramana Maharshi put it together quite well. It's the idea of self-inquiry, right? So as we're doing self-inquiring about ourselves, whenever we get caught away on a thought, right, it just comes back into that one question. Who is it that's thinking this? Who am I, right? So if I'm thinking of a very negative thought, I may stop myself and saying, who is it that is thinking this thought? Oh, well, I am. Well, who am I? I am. There you go, right? We move right back into the I am, and we enforce that within ourselves. We say, I am, I am, I am. We do not give responsibility to that which we know is in conflict. We do not give that egoic thought power. We come back into the root of ourselves. It's kind of like a computer, right? If you have like the file manager, right? And here's your root directory, and then you got a subroot directory, then you got a sub-subroot directory, and a sub-sub-subroot directory, etc. I'm speaking computer talk here for people, but nonetheless it works, right? We exit out of that subfolder, that sub-subfolder, that sub-subfolder. We come right back into the root. We come right back to the I am. So now you're in the I am directory where everything is. Right? There is nothing beyond the I am, because that is the nature of the pure self. So that is the second stage that we move into. That's something I haven't really talked to you guys about yet, and I will be talking about it over time. I've mostly been talking to you guys a lot about the first stage. The first stage is the heightening stage. It's the positive reinforcement stage. Because once you are able to really rectify a lot of your life from that stage, you're going to actually clear away the heightening, because it won't be seen as heightening anymore. It'll be seen as your natural state. It'll be seen as your natural self. So we play together with positive reinforcement. We play together with natural heightening until we have really rectified a lot of these old conflicts. We're feeling good. We feel completely at peace with ourselves. We've made peace with everything that represents our reality. Now we move into stage 2. And stage 2, again, could just be referred to as self-realization or self-inquiry, which, again, Sri Ramana Maharshi has talked about extensively, right? Which really just comes down to the idea of just being the nature of the self, being the I, right? That's the second stage. That's the second phase, where now you're no longer looking at something whether it's positive or negative. You're not looking at black or white. You're just looking at isness. You're looking at the I am, right? And you're catching yourself. Anytime you're going off into a thought that's highly negative, you say, well, whose thought is this? Oh, well, it's my thought. Well, who am I? I am, I am, I am, I am. And we focus on that. I am, I am, I am, right? And we're right here. We're at the top of the mountain. We're at the top of creation, looking at the I amness. So again, that's another stage that I'll be talking about more extensively in future videos to come. Okay, so I just wanted to share this presentation with all of you today about that you are the only one here, that you are creator, that you are sovereign. Everything that you say goes. Everything that you notice through the changing within reality comes through you first. So this is helping you get into your empowerment, moving yourself into that sovereignty, knowing that you are God, because that's who you really are. If we're telling ourselves we're not God, then we're just playing with an illusion that is not true, right? We are. And so again, this is our steps towards that, is moving into positive reinforcement, moving into heightening, transforming those conflicts. Once we've done that, we move into I am principle. We move into the I am nature. We move into self-realization. We move into self-inquiry. All right? So thank you very much, guys. We're going to go ahead now and move into Q&A. For those who are here for healing, we're going to be doing healing next week. Okay? So we'll be doing another Mother Earth healing next week, and we'll be moving into personal or group healing next week as well, too, next Friday. Okay, so I can see there's quite a few questions coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a moment to kind of go up to the top of the live chat here. And hello, everybody. Okay, here's one from, actually, there's a couple good ones here. I think we'll try Amanda first. Hi, I have a question. How do you know if you are Starseed, and how do you know which planet or star is home? Well, you're not going to figure that out with the ego, right? You're not going to figure that out with logic, and you're not going to figure that out with reasoning. If you want to understand much more of your deeper soul connections to life, well, what do you have to go into? You have to go into your soul. You have to go into the self. Okay, because that's going to reveal everything to you. If you try to logically try to understand about how I'm a starseed, or I've been to the Akashic records, or I've been born, I have an experience, a memory of being born in the Pleiades, or something of that nature, that is not something that is going to come through logic and reasoning, right? Looking at the logical, practical self doesn't help, okay? It will help in regards to the state of interpretation, but you have to go within. You got to go into meditation. You got to focus on that, right? So you're looking into yourself. You're getting yourself into a state of calmness. You're oxygenating yourself. You're doing breath work, okay? Pranayama, right? Charging yourself, charging up the spine, charging up the brain, moving yourself into deeper brainwave states, right? Connecting a lot more deeper. Some of you can even access this through dream time. Some of you can even go into vivid dreaming or lucid dreaming, and you're able to explore these other realms, right? You can just talk to, you could say, your subconscious and just say, show me a planet in the Pleiades to which I was born. And all of a sudden you're seeing this big, beautiful blue planet, and you're seeing the civilization there, you're seeing the architecture there, you're seeing everything that represents that planet, okay? And that's you going into the dream state, okay? That's you going into deep meditation. So for everybody else, it's different. But again, you go within, right? To go within yourself and look within yourself, and therefore honoring your inner self, the inner tapestry that represents your soul. It will tell you everything. It will tell you every single life that you've incarnated as, right? It can go very, very deep. There's no, it's like looking at a bottomless ocean. You don't have a ground floor, so to speak. You don't have a ocean bed, right? You continue to go into the great depths of yourself and continue to explore. And I've done this for years. I've looked into many other lifetimes I've had on Sirius and Arcturus and Lyra, right? And looking into all these different places, but that really didn't help me too much about understanding the nature of the self, right? We really just look at these things as curiosities. Okay, yes, I've been to another planet. I've lived amongst that civilization. I felt a lot of shifting. I've done a lot of healing work on that planet. And so what, right? It's no big deal to me anymore, right? When I first started, I was really excited about looking into star seeds and looking into other planets and going into other dimensions, other realities, connecting other forms of consciousness, talking to other luminescent beings in that way. But so what, right? When you start to come into the nature of yourself, when you start to really shift yourself and transform yourself, just like what I was talking about in the presentation, that reaps the greatest reward, right? I could go to the Pleiades, I can go to Sirius, I can go to Andromeda, I can go to Arcturus, I can go to Lyra, right? And I can look at all these different planets and these different worlds. I can see myself in many different shapes and sizes. I could see myself as a feline being. I could see myself as a reptilian. I could see myself as Anunnaki. I could see myself as a giant, right? All of these things. Big deal. Big deal, right? When you look at the self, you're not so enamored with form anymore, right? You don't really care about form. It's nice. These are nice, beautiful planets, and these are beautiful species and all of that. But who cares, right? It's yourself. When you really look into that and you see how you're transforming and you see how you're moving yourself into a state of sovereignty, that's the greatest reward. That's the greatest shift, right? You could ask any of these masters, these great teachers, these sages, to go to these different worlds, and they can do that within an instant, right? They can walk right on that planet. They're walking on its soil. They're walking on its sand. They're looking at all these beings, but they don't care. Right? They could do all that stuff. They could go into the Akashic records and tell you everything about your soul history, looking into lifetimes past and future. They don't care, right? What's truly beautiful to them is being with God, right? Is God, is the nature of being the true self. That's the true joy. That's the true love. Like, I do Akashic readings for people as well too, and I love doing them. They're great, and they're powerful. Like I said, it all depends on where we start. Right? If we're very new to this, it can be helpful that you're looking into other lifetimes. So now that you know, oh my goodness, I had other lifetimes. I now feel like I have a memory in Egypt. Feel like I have a memory in Atlantis. Those are great. I've had those experiences, and they certainly have shifted me. But where the grandest shift has come is being able to explore the self, is being able to rectify the self, to clear away all the debris, all the gunk that we've put into ourselves for so very long. And that when all that cleans up and you feel yourself completely refreshed and renewed and rejuvenated and you feel like a sovereign, That's the greatest reward you could ever ask for. Okay. So thank you, Amanda, for your question. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So this one here is from Punk Tech SE, and Punk Tech SE says, can Adronis give a little bit of insight on the topics discipline, laziness, and sloth? All right. So let's have Adronis talk about discipline, laziness, and sloth. All right. One moment. Tera Soul Star Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of serious, stunning love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you for the question relating to the topics of discipline, laziness, and sloth. Well, again, these are three entirely different terms from each other. When you're looking at discipline, really all you're looking at is learning. You're looking at the emphasis of learning altogether. Now, some of you will actually appoint the idea of discipline as punishment, and that's not the idea. That is a distorted degree relating to the nature of discipline. Discipline is not punishment in its true nature. When we look at the energy behind the nature of discipline, it is one who has exercised themselves greatly through the nature of experience because they have walked the path of learning. Now, learning itself brings you into a greater emphasis, a wiser state of consciousness. When you work together with the nature of discipline, when you look at a person saying that person is very disciplined, they weren't just born with that discipline. They went through learning cycles. They went through learning shifts. They had to go through a great deal of trial and error. And this is where many of you mistake the idea to where you feel discipline is punishment, because a person will fall down, and then they'll fall down again, and then they'll fall down again, and saying, why are they putting themselves through this? It must be punishment. Well, they keep saying, I work with discipline, so he must be punishing. He must be a masochist in that way. No, that's not the idea. The reason why they keep falling and falling and falling and falling is because they are determined. And it is through their learning experience about what they are learning to do and adapting to that frequency. So now they are, in that sense, natural to it. That's the nature of discipline. It is that learned, it is that experience, it is that refinement of yourself. And then when you're moving into the idea of laziness, or the idea of slothhood in that way, well, when you're working together with the state of laziness, all that is a type of defeat. That just means you're defeated. When a person is actually feeling quote-unquote lazy, they feel defeated in trying to do anything that they wish to do. They feel like, I could go up and I could clean the house. No, I don't feel like doing that today because I'm defeated by something else. Something else is lingering. So it's a pulling sensation. It's the feeling that you do not have the energy, you do not have the passion, you do not have the potential, you do not feel like you have the drive to do it because something else is pulling at you. That's why people get lazy. It's not because they don't have the energy, because they had the energy to get up out of bed. They had the energy to dress themselves. They had the energy to make breakfast or dinner. But when it came to this other thing, no, I don't feel like doing it because there is a defeatism there. Laziness in that sense is just a cousin, as you would say, to the idea of feeling defeated. To feeling in that sense, not really unmotivated, but it is more so a defeat. Because a person may say, well, all you need is motivation. No, not really. All they really have to look at is that particular nagging tendency that is preventing them from feeling that they cannot do anything, because it represents a state of defeat. And then when you move into slothhood, well, that's more of a greater extreme past laziness. That is what you would refer to as extreme defeat, where they really don't want to do anything. Because really, when you look inside this person, they are completely overwhelmed with emotional harshness. They are completely overwhelmed by the nature of their own heavy emotional states, their traumas. And so they feel like a sloth. They feel, what's the point? What's the point? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? It's not that they're being truly, as you would say, neutral to the situation. No. It is the result of apathy. And apathy, in that sense, is actually the result of someone who is very, very emotional. It is not the idea of an apathy just being some type of laziness, or just saying, oh, this person just doesn't feel like doing this. No, that person has been defeated. That person has been defeated and feeling exhausted from their defeat so heavily that it becomes a nature of sloth. And so that's the idea altogether. So these are three entirely different concepts. So you have discipline, representing the learned and the experienced. You have the idea of laziness, which represents a type of defeat. You have sloth, which represents the extreme states of defeat. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, Punk Tech SE. All right. Going down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one from Natana Kamo. Okay, so I'll just say Natana. Question, could you or Adronis comment on the liver, how to detoxify it, including detoxing it emotionally, if we reserve a lot of anger or sadness, etc.? Okay. Yeah, I can talk about this because a lot of people have come to me and said, Brad, I have a pretty faulty liver, I have a pretty fatty liver, I have a pretty conflicted liver in that way. Well, a lot of it comes from natural toxicities that we have in the body, right? The liver, one of our pretty much our heaviest organ, it takes a beating throughout the day that we're born, right? It's responsible for clearing out all toxins. It's the personal detoxification filter of your body, and it gets hammered with everything, right? It gets hammered with bad food. It gets hammered with bad drinks. It gets hammered with pollution. It gets hammered with toxicities, with pathogens, you name it. Right? It gets hammered. So the whole key here is what I find one of the best ideas. Yeah, I mean, there's dietary shifts you can do. There's food that you can take, right? Medical medium always talks about celery juice and all that. There's keto, which I'm doing as well too, which is basically reducing a lot of the fat out of your body if you have a fatty liver. And that's worked great for me, okay? But a lot of it is body talk, okay? When you start to talk to the liver a lot more and you work with it, right? It's no more different than as I was saying with Amanda, about going within, right? And doing work within, meditating. It's the same thing. You are doing body talk. You speak to the liver. You talk to the liver. You ask the liver in that sense, what is it that you're going through? What is it that you need help with? Now, it may tell you to take certain nutrients or certain vitamins, okay? But you're also telling the liver how much you love it. You're telling the liver how much you appreciate it. You're telling the liver how hardworking it is and how you're apologizing, right, for any misdeeds or any misconduct relating to the body where the liver has had to flush that out. It's exactly what we do in the black ball, white ball technique, right? We do the apologetic affirmation. I apologize to my liver for being neglectful regarding any harsh conditions that it's experiencing. I ask for my liver's forgiveness and for its assistance to clear away all this debris, release it to spirit, to be purified and forgiven in totality, okay? Something just as simple as that, okay? Have you done the black ball, white ball technique? It's on my YouTube channel, okay? One of the best things to do is when you start spiritually working with the body, okay? It's good that we have certain foods. It's good that we're having vitamins and nutrients and taking good care of the body. We're exercising. Yes, those are all important as well too. But the top of the mountain, the apex, the summit, really comes from the idea of your spiritual heart-to-heart connection with the body, okay? Some of you may look into body talk, okay? You may want to look into kinesiology, into muscle testing. Now let me just shift my windows here. There we go, into live chat. That's better. In muscle testing, into kinesiology as well too. Talk to the body, right? Talk to the organs. Not just the liver, but talk to the heart, talk to the lungs, talk to the kidneys, talk to the intestines, talk to every part of your body. And just ask, how is it doing? What is it that it needs? Is there anything I can do to help you out further, right? Give it love. You start doing BCR technique in the morning. You're filling those organs with love. Believe me, it helps, okay? It helps. All of that energy is being utilized in the body, okay? Cell production is going to get much more greater. Your vitality is going to spike up. Your organs are now going to start working in much more stronger state of cooperation. The cobwebs, the proverbial cobwebs, are going to start being cleared away as well too. So there's so much more of a benefit working on a spiritual level, right? With your liver, working on an emotional level with your liver, with your organs, with your body as well too. Talk to it. Have a relationship with the body. Speak to it, right? If you're too bashful because you're living with 5 or 6 other people, go into your bedroom. Find a private space. Start talking to the liver. Get out a notebook, right? Start talking to it. Go into meditation, right? Deep breath in, deep breath out. Start oxygenating yourself. Go deep, okay? As you start oxygenating yourself, you now move into a state of calmness. You now start going into the alpha. Do you guys want to know how to go into the alpha state? This is it. Okay, I'm in the alpha state just doing that. Okay, I take my eyes, I move them up. Now I'm right here. I'm in the alpha state. Okay, another way is working with peripherals. Okay, if I'm looking ahead, I have my 2 index fingers here. They are my peripheral vision. I'm taking everything in. My eyes are dilating. As my eyes are dilating, I'm going deeper. I'm going into the right brain, right? I'm not focusing on blah, 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 linear talk, linear talk, linear talk. The noisy, chatty, monkey left brain. Okay, I'm here. And any worries, any concerns I have is completely neutralized by working with peripherals, working with taking everything in, okay? And as you get into that mindset where you feel you're just taking everything in, now you can talk to your body. You can talk to your body all at once. It's all about how willing, how deep you're willing to go with your body, okay? So yes, talk to your body. Talk to it. Work with the black ball, white ball technique. Work with BCR technique, okay? Work with body talk, communicating with it. Like I said, yes, you can have vitamins and nutrients and all that stuff like that, and that's good. That covers the base level of everything, right? Whenever we're doing food management in that way, food planning, that's covering the base functions, okay? It's very, very base. It's important because we want to make sure we have a good foundation. When we're doing exercise, we're covering the base. But now we're working on the emotional center, which is above that. And now we're going to work on the spiritual center, which is the capstone, okay? So it's not just eating well. It's not just exercising well. I know that's what scientists and doctors will say, right? And saying, come on, you just got to have good food and exercise a lot. That's not it, man. That's just the base. That's the base foundation here. You have to go higher. You want to go into your emotional center. You want to go into your spiritual center, okay? And you talk to the body. You form a relationship. You form a bond, okay? Thank you, Not No, for your question. Okay. Someone has asked about the Earth Scroll. Adronis has already talked about this. Okay, it's in the webinar, Earth, the Grand University. Okay, so Adrian, check out that webinar, Earth, the Grand University. He talks all about it. Okay. I'll just go down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's a question. It's interesting. You guys have interesting questions here. Okay, this is from Vel. Vel says, question for Adronis. What are the effects of putting a copper headband around the head? Okay, one moment. We thank you very much for your question, Val. So if we put a copper headband, Adronis, around our head, what will that do? Perhaps give you a new idea of a fashion statement. In all honesty, the idea of when you're working together with copper It is more so non-conductive in regards to magnetism, but it is very conductive in regards to electromagnetism. So it is a type of conductor. It is a type of amplifier. It is all based upon how the copper is arranged. It also represents upon the purity of the copper as well too. So copper can also be used in that sense as a type of detoxifier. It can actually extract certain forms of debris, specifically within the skin as well. But it all depends in regards to the apparatus itself. Some of you may want to have a crystal together with the copper as well too, because the copper will help to bring a conductiveness to the electromagnetism of the crystal. So it can act as an amplifier, it can act as a resonator, it can act as a detoxifier. It is all based upon the idea of what you want to use the copper for, because it has those particular functionalities. So it's just a matter of apparatus. But yes, some people will basically take like copper headbands and they will put it upon the third eye, because again, it's functioning as a conductor. It's functioning as an amplifier. It's functioning as a detoxifier. So it can be utilized for that, but based upon the quality of the metal is the important part. All right? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Phil. Okay, let's go let's go down the questions here a bit more. Okay, just give me a minute here, guys. I'm still just reading things out. I'm also kind of looking at questions that I have not really covered, because there's still quite a few questions that I've covered in past episodes. So I'm kind of just looking at kind of new ones here to see if there's some new ones here. So there's a question here. I don't think I'm going to bring Adronis in here as basically as this is a question for Adronis, but I don't think he's really needed to come in here for this one. It's from Ashley Hall. It says, can you give your view on different stones we can use to balance out our bodies? You don't need them, right? You really don't need a bunch of stones to balance out your body, right? Some people will get very much into crystals, right? I have a few myself, right? I got a smoky quartz crystal right here. Got a quartz crystal right here. This is from my fiance, right? Selenite tower. They're great. They're wonderful. I do love crystals, okay? But if that's what you're using to clear out your body, you're not doing it right, with all due respect, okay? If you're working together just with crystal energy, you're basically looking at something that's a little bit more on the surface. Because like I said, it's your core tendencies that you have to work out, right? It's not about the idea of having to smudge yourself, because that's beneficial. It can help clear space. It can help clear energy. You can use crystals, right, to ground yourself, to help with detoxification, to help you with amplification in that sense. But that's not important, right? If I'm looking at this, right, it's a beautiful selenite tower that my fiance gave me, and I love it. But the whole idea is, so I'm holding this in my hand compared to what I can do with my consciousness. This is nothing, right? So yes, this helps clear the space. It's a beautiful selenite tower, okay? But that's not important, right? It's not about laying down on a massage bed and getting all these crystals and stones and gems and thinking that's going to alleviate your suffering, okay? That is a distortion. It's going to make you feel good. It's no more different than you getting a massage, really, right? If you're laying down on a massage bed and you're getting this great massage, it'll feel good. It might feel good for today and maybe into tomorrow. It'll feel good, but now the tension of life starts coming back. And a few days pass, and before you know it, you're a stress magnet again. Oh my God, I need to go for another massage. I need to go for another crystal therapy session, etc. It's going to happen all over again, because that is not resolution, right? And that's not what I'm teaching you guys here, is to look into putting a bunch of stones on your body, taking a bunch of crystals and putting on your body, or just go for a nice massage and take care of it. You'll be fine for a day or two, and then it'll come back again, okay? What I'm teaching you guys here is to go into the self, is to go into your heart, right? I really don't know why you guys are asking questions about stones and gems when you have something like the BCR technique, right? Or stones and gems when you have the black ball, white ball technique, right? When you're looking at these simple tools that you can use to transform yourself, to transform your life, okay? That's going to do a lot more and these little crystals are going to do for you. Okay? There's a romanticism based upon these things. It's new agey, right? We get into the new agey stuff. Oh, I'm going to have crystals, and I'm going to have oxygen therapy, and I'm going to work with massage, and I'll meditate for like 35 minutes today, and all that stuff. Well, where's that meditation go? Oh, nothing. I'm just breathing in and breathing out, and that's it. Well, you're not aiming it towards anything in regards to what you need to work on. You're not even working with your emotional body. Okay? It's the idea of going a lot more deeper into yourself rather than getting into this new agey stuff about working with crystals and working with water healing and all that stuff like that. Like I said, it can help for a short term. But if you're not willing to work with your traumas, if you're not willing to work with your emotional states, your emotional conflicts, the hardships that are within yourself, you're wasting your time doing all this gem stuff and stone stuff, right? Because those are temporary solutions. It's no more different than a person says, Brad, I'm getting attacked constantly. What can I do to protect myself? Okay. And I said, sit down. We need to have a talk. Okay, it's not about putting a shield up. It's not about protecting yourself. It's about working with everything within you. You're the only one here. You're fighting yourself. You're putting up this big shield and you're fighting all of these onslaughts that you yourself have chosen. Right? You've made those decisions to turn these things into conflicts. You're the only one here. It's your universe. You're the center. So it really does not help for me to share with you guys that you need to put a bunch of gems and stones on your body. Or you just need to go say 108 mantras and then your problems are solved. No, guys. With all due respect, that's a bunch of crap. Okay? That's fluff. That is what so many people have been fed when you're looking at the spiritual nature. Just go do 108 mantras, have prayer beads, put some gemstones on your body, work on your chakra systems, just look at the colors, and that's it. You'll be fine. I didn't even tackle the emotional area. My belief systems, my emotions, my core. Have I even looked at that? Oh, no, I just do chakra attunements. And I just put these nice crystals upon my body, and that's it. No, guys. You're wasting your time. Okay? And I'm not saying that to disrespect any crystal healer or anything. Like I said, they're doing great jobs. It's like a masseuse. Someone who's doing massage therapy. They're doing a great job, but that's not going into the depth of your own conflicts, right? That requires inner work. Putting a bunch of crystals on your body is not inner work. Okay? Going for a massage is not inner work. Okay? Go ahead and chanting 108 mantras is not inner work. That's external. It's not inward. Okay? Believe me, I've done all that stuff when I was first starting out. I did crystal therapy. I've looked into massage. I've looked into chanting mantras, ohms, right? All of that. It's great. It feels great. But that's not getting to the issues. You have to go inside. You have to do inner work. You have to take a notebook. Okay? It's exactly what I teach in the Spirit Ambassador Classroom, guys. You should be looking at those modules. Okay? NewEarthTV.live. Spirit Ambassadors. Sign up for a free account. Take a look at the modules. Okay? I line this out step by step through all the modules. Okay? It will really, really help you. Notebook. Okay? Your notebook, and you're writing down your traumas. You're writing down your conflicts. You're writing down your old relationships, what has happened through them, right? And you're cleaning out all of that debris. You're working with it. You're creating journal entries every single day. How are you feeling? What happened today? What are your challenges? What are your triumphs? What has happened? What work are you doing on yourself? This is your gauge. This is your progress meter right here, okay? Working with your daily journal and just writing things out. Are you talking to spirit? Are you connecting with the self? Are you going inwards? Are you talking to your body? Are you talking to your emotions? Are you talking to your belief systems? Are you talking, oh no, I don't know. Well, there you go. Right? When you're doing something as simple as kinesiology, body talk, that's inner work. Okay? When you're going into meditation to work together with your emotional states, you're working to clear out traumas, that's inner work. Okay? It's not about funky crystals, stones and gems. That's nothing. Okay? You may feel, I pick up this crystal and I get a nice buzz in my hand. So what? Is it resolving your conflicts right now? Is it resolving your traumas? No. There you go. It's nice to have. It's beautiful. I love crystals myself. But I'm not relying upon that to feel like that's going to resolve my traumas. That's not going to resolve my issues. That's not going to change me. Because I'm looking outside of myself. I'm looking outside for a solution. Ain't wrong. There's like this big cosmic buzzer. Ain't wrong. You got to look inside yourself. You got to do the inner work. You got to work with those emotional conflicts. You got to work with your traumas. You got to shift yourself into a new perspective rather than the new age metaphysical garbage, right? So it's getting out of that fluff. It's getting out of all that extra additional cushioning so many people put on us, right? Oh, I'm spiritual, and I have all these topaz gemstones, and I have fluorite here, and I have amethyst here, etc. No offense, but big effing deal. They're beautiful, they're great to look at, and I'm sure they'll help out on the surface in certain degrees. But other than that, they're useless. Right? If you really want to look into what I'm telling you guys here about working with the self, you don't look into gemstones. You don't look into chanting mantras, any of that stuff. Okay? That's fluff. You want to go deeply within yourself. So that's my reply to that. Okay? Not concerning about gemstones and crystals. And Adronis would be saying the same thing here. He said, it's not about your crystals, it's not about your gemstones, it's about you. There is nothing stronger, there is nothing more powerful, there is nothing more eternal than you. You're the ultimate crystal. You're the ultimate power source. You're the ultimate sovereign. And when you harness that energy, crystals can't even compare to it. Okay? So please reflect on what I'm sharing here. Just a perspective, okay? Okay, guys, we're going to take about one or two more questions. Then we're going to wrap up for today. Sarah says, what do we need to do to get our memories back as the amnesia veil drops? Nothing, okay? Memories come back to you. Don't try to control it, okay? When you're looking at the non-linear, when you're looking at noticing that you have a dream and then all of a sudden you have these memories in that sense, that's beyond your control. It's very similar to what I've talked about previously, is that when you're manifesting, right? You're in the factory, you're in the laboratory, you're drawing up the schematic for this big manifestation, and then you hand it off to Spirit. Spirit takes that blueprint, goes into the warehouse, and constructs this manifestation and brings it back to you, okay? So that's the idea of the conception and the processing, okay? Don't try to control the processing. That's not your job. Don't try to control the ideas. Oh, I want these memories back. I want these memories back. Not up to you. Not your call. Okay? That's for Spirit to deliver to you at the right moment, at the perfect moment. Okay? If you're doing a lot of meditating and you're looking into the Akashic records, Spirit's showing you all these things, right? Spirit decides to work with you, not the other way around, right? Human power has no power at all. It's when we work with Spirit, when we are symbiotic with Spirit, when we are simpatico with Spirit, when we are at one with Spirit. Now, Spirit takes us on a journey. Spirit wants to show us things. Rather than feeling like we know what we're doing, oh boy, are we so smart. No offense, guys, but we're stupid. I say that to myself as well, too. Right? Whenever I feel like I'm a control freak and I need to do this and I need to do that, and I just look and say, Brad, you're so very stupid right now. Right? We're dumb. Because we start to look at the human intellect and we start to think like, oh, we can control this and we know what we need. No, it's so very stupid. So when you start working with Spirit together, you start letting Spirit guide you, following a path that Spirit is laying out for you, you're going to have incredible resolutions. You're going to have incredible shifts in understanding more facets about yourself. You're going to reabsorb all of these lifetimes back into yourself. You're going to amalgamate, as Adronis calls it, the amalgamation effect. Okay? So give up the idea of feeling that you have to control when you're going to get new memories in. You're going to have memories coming back with our lifetimes. You can't control that. Okay? It's not your job. That's for Spirit to give you at the appropriate time. Also based on the work that you're doing. Like I said, if you're looking into the records, if you're looking into yourself, you're going deeper into yourself, you're exploring your nature a lot more, then at the appropriate moment, Spirit will give you something because it all synchronistically aligns, okay? I say this, guys, because it's happened to me. I'm speaking from experience here. I'm not just speaking on an assumption, oh yeah, this kind of quarter sort of happened. No, this has all happened to me. I've gotten memories back. I've looked into deeper aspects of myself, something that I can't even articulate, right? It's so beautiful. So please let Spirit do the work. You be the map maker, okay? You be the blueprinter. And saying, Spirit, this is what I'd like to do. Okay, well, how about you put that down for now? I'll take you on this path and I'll show you something even greater. Oh, great, let's do it, right? You take hands, Spirit takes you, and you go down this beautiful path, and it is so mesmerizing and so beautiful and so divine. Words can't describe. All right, so that's something I can share with you, Sarah. Okay, Adrian asks, what's the video called for Earth University? It's called Adronis, the Earth University. Okay, it's on newearthteachings.com. You'll find it on the homepage. Okay, and it's basically under webinars, previous on-demand webinars. Click on that button. You'll see Earth, the Grand University, and you can check it out on Vimeo. You purchase it. Okay. Okay, let me just go down here a bit more. Here's a nice one here. It's a nice question. It's kind of sweet. Okay, this is from Emmy and Enzo, I'll just say. Adronis, can you communicate with your unborn child or fetus, and how can you connect with them? Okay, so let me go ahead and bring Adronis in for that. It's a sweet question, so thank you. I love the sweet questions. We thank you very much for your question. The idea of communicating with an unborn child in that way, the mother or even the father can do this. The father can communicate with the unborn child as well. It's not just the mother. It's, again, no more different than going into yourself, exploring yourself. If you are able to talk to your body naturally, you'll have absolutely no problem talking to your unborn child. But you have to also understand that the unborn child may also start to communicate with you without you even invoking the opportunity to communicate with it beforehand. It will just start talking to you. And you may start to hear this voice. You may start to see this vision. You may just start to feel its thoughts coming into your mind, into your awareness. And therefore, it's about tuning in. Everything is about relationship. We will say that again. Everything is about relationship. If you do not have a relationship with something that you feel very interested in talking to, it's not going to be communication. You want rapport. You want relationship. You want to connect in that way. It's heart to heart. So when you're talking to an unborn child, it's not to say, oh, then you have to go do this, then you have to press this lever, then you have to go press this switch, then you have to go click on this button. No. You're thinking about this too logically. Logic has no place in communicating with an unborn child. It is emotion. It is feelings. It is relationship. It is rapport. So you are therefore connecting to the heart of your unborn child. The father can connect to the heart of the unborn child. And you just feel. You feel. You remain open. You go deeper. You see your little one inside the womb. You see their body at their current state of development. You feel their soul inside that little body. Rather, that little body inside the soul. And now you talk. And now you're communicating. Oh, my baby's a girl. Oh, my baby will really, really love blueberries when she gets older. Oh, my baby wants to be a painter. Oh, my baby likes these kinds of colors within her room. How are you getting that information? Relationship, rapport, connection, heart, centering yourself. You see, logic does not tell you how to go into these states. You have to feel it out. Your feelings, your intuition, your heart, your soul, your spirit tells you how to connect, because it's not using words. They're feelings. It's clarity. That's why your English language is inadequate for this. It is probably the most inadequate language in understanding your feelings. It is too much a logical language. English won't do it. Even many of your languages still won't do it. Ones that actually have much more feeling behind them, like Sanskrit, for example, which is a far more greater emotional language than your English language is. Your English language is far too distorted to understand inner concepts, to understand inner work, because it's an unemotional language. That's why you don't use it when you're connecting with your unborn child. When you're connecting with anything, you have to let your feelings work, because that's the appropriate language. You have to work with your feelings. You have to let your feelings out, rather than relying so much on words and how-tos and DIYs. Just go within. You have feelings, don't you? That's what you use. You build rapport. You build relationship. You connect to heart. And that's how you work together with your inner child. And we mean that in more ways than one. The child within yourself and the child within yourself. When the inner child starts speaking with your inner child, that's where there's a grand communication taking place. That's where there's grand feelings being shared and expressed, grand thoughts. So again, certain things for you to look at in reflection. All right? We thank you very much. We thank you all for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude, and we will speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Goodbye. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of New Earth TV Live today. So again, I will be back next week for another episode. Again, join me this Sunday for Spirit Ambassador Classroom. It's the last one. Okay. So again, the link is in the video description. Happening 11 a.m. Pacific this Sunday. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful day. Have just an amazing moment wherever you are in the world. All right. Take care. Namaste. And may it be well with you all. Thank you.